Harisharanam. Once, Ballavacharya came to visit Srila Rupa Goswami in Vrindavan. While they were conversing, Ballavacharya said, "Sri Rupa, you have written a very nice book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. However, there is one thing in that book that makes me quite unhappy. You have written, Bhukti Mukti Spriha Yavat Tisachi Hridi Vartate Tavat Bhakti Sukhashyatra Katham Abhyudayo Bhavet. How can the happiness of devotion find a place in the heart that is under the spell of the witch of aspiration for enjoyment and salvation? You have here called Bhukti and Mukti a Pisachi, which means witch or evil spirit. There are many persons who are in quest of moksha, that is salvation of the soul. Will they not take your words to be an insult? It is improper for a great personality like yourself to insult or abuse others. Since Ballavacharya was his senior, Rupa Goswami accused to his criticism. I accept what you say. Just mark what a Vaishnava is. Ballavacharya became satisfied and went to Yamuna to take his bath. Jiva Goswami had been present while Ballavacharya talked to Sri Rupa Goswami and had heard the entire conversation. He followed Ballavacharya to the bank of the river. When Jiva offered him pranam, Ballavacharya asked him, "My dear boy, who are you?" Jiva Goswami said, "I am a lowly disciple of the person with whom you have just been speaking." "What is your name?" "My name is Sri Jiva." "What do you want to say to me?" "You refuted the Siddhanta of my Guru, but it was not something that should have been refuted. He has written the right thing." Ballavacharya asked, "How so?" Then Jiva told, "My spiritual master wrote that the aspiration, that is Spriha, for Bhukti and Mukti is an evil spirit. Not that Bhukti and Mukti are themselves evil spirits. It is the same as saying that a bad attraction to women is to be abhorred. That doesn't mean that women are to be hated. It's not acceptable for anyone to say that the female should be hated. That is what we have been given to understand. So how can you argue that Rupa Goswami has spoken improperly?" Ballavacharya meditated on what Jiva had told him and came to the conclusion that he was right. After bathing, he came back to Rupa Goswami and said, "Sri Rupa, what you have written is correct. You ask us to bid goodbye to Bhukti Mukti Spriha. The aspiration for enjoyment is described as bad. There is no need for you to exclude it from your book." Rupa said, "What makes you say this, Prabhu? Just a few minutes ago, you told me that I was wrong. What has made you change your mind?" "My error has been corrected by a handsome boy." Rupa Goswami asked, "What boy?" When Ballava told him, Rupa thought, "Well, this is a fine state of affairs. Then when Vallabhacharya had gone, Rupa Goswami said to Jiva, I shall not look at you. You are not fit for life in Vrindavan. You are still afflicted by vanity. You think that you are such a great person that you went to debate with Vallabhacharya, whom I consider my superior. Jiva Goswami was Rupa's own disciple and nephew. Jiva didn't utter a single word against his guru's verdict. He didn't argue that it was unjustified. Instead, he went to Nandagram near the Yamuna and began doing his bhajan. At first, he lived on Madhukari, a single handful of food each day. Then he gave even that up and simply sat down chanting Harinam all day long. At the time, Sanatana Goswami happened to be walking through the 12 forests of Vrindavan. One day, as he passed through Nandagram, the local people said to him, Please come and see. A handsome boy has come to live here. He constantly utters the names of Hari, but he doesn't eat any food. He may die. Please come and see him. Sanatana Goswami followed them and was surprised to see that the boy they were talking about was his nephew. What is this, Sri Jiva? Why are you doing this? You are going to kill yourself. Sri Jiva answered, Prabhu, he never addressed him as uncle. My life is without meaning, for I have lost the mercy of my Guru. What is the value of life of someone who is bereft of his spiritual master's blessings and has been abandoned by his spiritual master? It is better that he die. I think that death is preferable for me. Sanatana Goswami asked Jiva to tell him the whole story. Jiva explained, I could not bear to hear any condemnation of my Guru, so I protested. As my Gurudev is displeased with me, I prefer to serve him in separation. I am now separated. I do not want to give any further trouble to my Gurudev. Sanatana Goswami didn't say anything further to Sri Jiva. Instead, he went back to Sri Rupa and said, Sri Rupa, Jiva is going to die unless you have pity on him and show him some kindness. Sri Rupa Goswami said, Yes, I shall do it. He went running to Sri Jiva and said, My dear son, come to me. So Sri Jiva Prabhu has given us an example of great devotion to the Guru. Acharya maham bijaniyam navamanyeta karhichit na martya buddhya shuyeta sarvadeva mayo guru. A disciple should consider his teacher to be my very self and never disrespect him in any way. One should not even envy him, thinking him to be an ordinary man, for he is the sum total of all the demigods. The spiritual master should not be judged from the material point of view. Lord Krishna says, the Acharya is the same as me. Know that he is like me. Never dishonor or censure him. Why? Sarvadeva mayo guru. All the powers of the demigods are possessed by the spiritual master. By the grace of the Lord, he has received the power to show kindness. He has learned to be all-powerful. He can give the all-powerful Lord to his disciple. This is something that cannot be given by any other person, not even the demigods. So, in this way, the Diksha Guru has given a great deal of importance. This is how we have to consider the spiritual master. Jai Shri Krishna Harihi Saranam.